time to take them on. It's a timeout. I didn't.
That's Trey Thomas, as we said, with his 18th touchdown catch of the year. For Trayvon Chapman, his 33rd touchdown throw of the year, as well, those two have a definite strong sync in terms of their pass-catch game here at Kent Roosevelt.
They've completed a few passes over their lives together, Reghi. And Kent Roosevelt, I mentioned at the top of the program that 80% of the offense goes through Trayvon Chapman. So far today, 24 plays for Kent Roosevelt, 13 rushes by Chapman, and 11 passes. So he's actually over the 80%. He's at 100% right now.
Right on time, absolutely. All right, Aurora finds himself down for the first time tonight here. A little over 8 minutes left at quarter number 2. Jose Roca on the approach. Jake McVeigh from the goal line for Aurora, and he was in the end zone and not able to come out. Looked like he might have been able to stay in the field of play, but was indeed ruled in the end zone. So let's take a look at the touchdown drive as we take a look at Trayvon Chapman and his extraordinary skills.
What stands out to me there, 16-yard pass. When they needed a big play on that drive, it was the feet of Chapman. But because of that running, you saw Zach Schmerzak, number 14, blitzing off the edge and breaking down, expecting Chapman to spill it. He spilled it just the opposite way, and he found Thomas for the touchdown. How
about that kind of answer, too, They were backed up. A 97-yard drive that started with that big 27-yard pitch and catch. Now this first down call for Aurora as they'll feature their ground game. Jake McVeigh on the carry. If you're just joining us, shame on you. Where you been? Michael Reghi, Ryan Cavanaugh, Amanda Turk on the sidelines, and all of our STO crew, headed by our producer Gene Winters here at Hudson Memorial Stadium.
I've been impressed with the Kent Roosevelt front four. Defensively,
they're
front
small,
five.
But they've been getting after it. Now out of the gun with a pair of offset for George Bolus. Off play action. Bolus will throw the out route, and he got picked off by Cardale Jackson. Cardale Jackson. He's been playing varsity in the secondary for John Nemec since his freshman year at Kent Roosevelt.
Bolus tries to get it to his tight end Schmerzak, and he doesn't see Jackson on the outside coming up. And there he is, sneaking in behind him. It's a good pass if Jackson is in there. He sees the trail defender on Schmerzak, but not Jackson. Excellent catch, one-handed catch as he's going down. That's a huge play for the junior, who Coach Nemec says has a very bright future. He's looking forward to seeing him having a much bigger role on offense next year.
Speaking of, here he comes to join this five-wide set as Kent Roosevelt has forced a pair of turnovers. Trayvon Chapman gonna load it up for Thomas. He had separation, but Chapman gunned it over his head, incomplete.
All this is a double move, Michael. They've hit Trey Thomas a few times, including the touchdown on hitches and out routes. This time, runs a lazy one, pops it up top. Trey Chapman tried to put it on a line, needed to put a little air in the ball.
Ryan, do you think the accent when John Nemec looked at his offensive possibilities that they might be able to find some things to their liking against the Aurora corners?
It certainly seems that way. And when he looked at it, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do in the middle with Quinn and Schmerzak.
Right.
So if this is, you're going to attack this defense, it's got to be to the outside. And he's found some success thus far doing just that, Michael.
Shot, little fire underneath, and he almost got picked off as picking that up was bound for the Toledo Rocket program, Zach Quinn. And you know, head coach at Toledo, Matt Campbell, just salivating over getting Zach Quinn in his program next year, and he'll play him at linebacker in that Rocket D.
Well, Matt Campbell, graduate of Mount Union. I like this play, Michael. It's Fortson coming across the middle. He just doesn't see Quinn. I think there's a lot of room and area to exploit on this Aurora defense in the middle, but I want Fortson to settle and not continue into coverage.
Sure, we'll keep an eye on that. Trayvon Chapman, this is a straight quarterback draw, but it did not fool that Aurora front. And Zach Quinn, who came up and said, I'm going to spy you, Trayvon Chapman, and put him down for a loss to bring up fourth down.
Aurora and Coach Worthy, enough of the shenanigans. We're not going to let Trayvon Chapman run all over us. We're going to have Quinn spy, and look at him close down there. Get inside, grow, and hold the ankles. Chapman, at that point, you go down instead of get injured, because Zach Quinn was not letting go of that lower limb.
Yeah, how about the X's and O's going back and forth between John Nemec and Bob Mahalik? 4th and 13, and John Nemec said, we're not punting the football. Trayvon Chapman, Quinn's coming at him. Chapman's throw is caught by Trey Thomas. He moved the sticks on 4th and 13. First down, Kent Roosevelt.
Michael, they're doubling him. They have Milner up in front with safety help behind it. But it doesn't matter if someone's in front if you're still playing behind him. Look how deep number 6 Milner is. If you're going to bracket him, you got to stay in front of him and take away that play, especially when you know where the first down sticks are.
That's why we brought it up a moment ago. Chapman going to pull that football down. And Chapman will get pushed out of bounds as a nice defensive pursuit again. Zach Quinn, he's spying Trayvon Chapman. And when you only send 3 and send 8 in coverage, something that Aurora felt they needed to do.
Well, that's something Coach Mahalik talked to us about this week. If Trey Chapman's doing his thing, running the football, which he did on that last drive, we'll take Quinn and we'll spy him. He felt that Zach Quinn is a good enough athlete to keep with Trayvon Chapman, and thus far, he's been able to do just that.
All right, this is a 2nd and 14. Throw that bubble. And look at the Aurora defense all over Brandon Groh. As coming up from the outside linebacker spot was Zach Smierziak, who made that hit.
Zach Smierziak said Quinn's getting too much of the credit. Look at him blow this play up, one hand, getting it on Groh, and then Brett Rogers and the rest of the Green men coming in and cleaning him up. Great single individual effort there by Zach Smierziak.
All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, our Wayside Furniture halftime report. Ryan and I will look back at the first half. We'll get you caught up on all playoff scores from around the area. Another check-in with Will Ewick live in Menor, Chardon and Kenston. Wayside Furniture, better price, price lower. Trayvon Chapman on the move, and he threw that up for grabs. Ill-advised throw that fell incomplete in the end zone.
What he had, Michael, was Fortson again dragging across from that trip set up top, but he just airmailed it over his head, and dangerous pass. I mean, almost picked off by the Greenman in there in the end zone.
On 4th and 13, Kent Roosevelt head coach John Nemec converted a moment ago with the 18-yard hookup. This time, though, he's going to send Jose Roca, who and Coach Nemec has a tremendous leg. This will be a 43-yard attempt from the right hash.
The American flag behind that end zone is laying flat. Wind should not be a factor on this kick by Roca.
Out of the hold of Zach Janis. Lot of leg from Jose Roca, and he'll put 3 on the board. He hits it clean from 43 yards away to bump the Kent Roosevelt lead to 4 at 10-6.
It's an excited young man, and Kent does what they need to do. That is, when you have drives, when you establish a drive like that and get into the opponent's territory, you got to come away with some points. They take 3. Now they make it a touchdown lead over Aurora.
Boy, in the holder, Zach Janis got this down. Ryan, that's inside that right upright with about, 7-8 yards to spare?
Yeah, Jose Roca.
Hey, man, that might have been there from 50 now.
Sure.
That had 7-8 yards to spare on that.
With a game like this, that may come in handy later when you know you have a weapon like Roca.
Zach Roca's 43-yard field goal hit as we take a look at our Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Drive there that, and again, remember, they were looking at 4th and 13, and Trayvon Chapman and Trey Thomas converted on that 18-yard pitch and catch.
Excellent point. Timing route. Again, that's what happens when you have 2 guys who are so familiar with the route running and the passing of each other.
Jake McVeigh will handle this kickoff return from the 2, and he got upended before he could get to the 20-yard line. Work on that kick cover squad from Angelo Norvell, who came down and got down low to upend Jake McVeigh.
That's what I like. Senior backup defensive end playing special teams, coming up with a huge play. Look at that hit, getting low, taking out Jake McVeigh.
I got to tell you, I'm partial to all the kick cover guys. Did you ever play them?
Yeah.
You're a quarterback. You never played them. You never play them. You were a star. I had to play them. That's why I'm partial to these guys.
Nobody said I was a star, just a quarterback.
Go back to the ground game and that first down carry for Zach Quinn. All right, let's see, Ryan Cavanaugh. Let's see now how this offensive ground game that averages 266 yards a game responds. This is 10 unanswered now for Kent Roosevelt after Jake McVeigh had that 51-yard touchdown run for Aurora on their first possession of the night.
Well, those last 3 points came off of a turnover which occurred throwing the football.
2 turnovers?
Right, one running by Bolus and then that one. That's how the points came. But keep the ball on the ground. Get in this triple I, 2 tights. Go back to what got you here, Greenman.
Bolus will run option right. Well, look at George Bolus. Powerful run from the junior quarterback. Bolus looking at 2nd down and 5, just ripped off.